Alright, so these are my notes. I printed them out and edited them to make them more easy to read. I also put some tabs on it and numbered them to make them more easy to grab and more easy to keep in order. I'll also be referring to my presentation aids by telling you what to look on the outline, or look at the outline rather. Health. It can be hard to maintain. The health can be unpredictable, change at a moment's notice, and to top it all off, it costs a lot, and I mean a lot of money. Have you or a loved one ever avoided seeing a doctor, going to the hospital, or maybe even the emergency room because of the high costs? Today I'll be talking to you about universal healthcare. One, about the economics of it, and two, about the health and productivity of the American people. Universal healthcare would positively benefit people, so now that we know what I'll be covering, let's go over the economic benefits of it. People are more financially productive and secure as a result of having universal healthcare. Now, of course, the cost of universal healthcare wouldn't come out of nowhere, so you might be wondering how that affects you. Naturally, the cost of taxes would increase as a result of having universal healthcare. The money wouldn't appear out of thin air. Now, Bernie Sanders, for example, a large proponent for Medicare for All, proposed taxes. And now these taxes that he proposed would cost a family of four to make $50,000, $844 annually. That said, you have to keep in mind that there'll be fewer medical bankruptcies and healthier citizens that will increase economic productivity. Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have, as said by Winston Churchill, former Prime Minister of the UK. Universal healthcare could increase self-employed population by 2 to 3.5%. This was found by Alison Wellington, a researcher for the College of Worcester, with an extensive researching background in healthcare, whose work is published in the Contemporary and Economic Policy, a peer-reviewed journal. Now, this could be because of a variety of reasons. You might have family that you need to take care of, so you wouldn't be able to work. If we had universal healthcare, for example, we could have something that we could rely on. If something were to happen, we could be at work and it'd still be safe and okay. Now, universal healthcare would enable people to find jobs despite their life circumstances, be it maybe even their own health. Now, the National Bankruptcy Forum, a national organization of trusted bankruptcy lawyers, found that the number one reason for bankruptcy was medically related. If we had universal healthcare and something were to happen, no money would come out of your pocket. You'd only lose money indirectly because you wouldn't be at work. So no money would come out of your pocket, and you could just hold on to the money that you have and save it. Now, let me ask you this. Do you care about your loved one's health? On to my second point, money aside. Universal healthcare would save lives and take care of those in risk. Now, you might think that the wait times would increase as a result of having universal healthcare, and that countries might start rationing universal healthcare. For example, countries like the UK, Australia, and Canada all ration their healthcare. Now, what does this rationing mean? The UK, for example, has an organization that decides what treatment is worth covering, depending on people's condition and health. Now, that organization is built off of faith of it. That said, wouldn't it be great if you never needed to use it in the first place? A right to healthcare can increase overall public health. So, a study published in Lancet, a medical journal, found that universal healthcare would increase overall public health. The U.S. has the 54th place of life expectancy among all the countries. Now, if you could look at the graph provided on the outline by visual aid, you'd see that the U.S. among the countries that have universal healthcare falls just under the 80-year-old age, whereas all the other countries with universal healthcare have a lot higher life expectancy. Now, Now there are there are 11.4 million uninsured working Americans with chronic conditions such as heart disease, diabetes. Now this was found by a study in the Annals of Internal Medicine, and that's an academic medical journal published by the American College of Physicians. Now you might know someone with a chronic condition, even as something as simple as like a peanut allergy. You could put them at risk. Now no matter how healthy you are always at risk. And being always at risk means there's always a chance that that money could come out of your pocket because of something medically related. So universal healthcare would prevent this, of course, and you could stay in the hospital, for example, free of charge. So now that we know the possible benefits of universal healthcare, let's go over what we learned. First, we went over how the economy would benefit from it. That despite higher taxes, people would be more economically productive, and they would experience less medical bankruptcies, and employment would increase as a result. Secondly, we covered how it would save lives. It would increase public health and increase accessibility to people with health issues. Now, universal healthcare would positively benefit people. I've never had much experience with universal healthcare and death in the health of my family members. We've all been gratefully all healthy people. Now, I've had a friend who's lost her mom. She had passed away. In her words, she said, "I talked to her just yesterday, and the next day she was gone. Take care of your loved ones while you can, because the government won't do it for you." Thank you.